What is the biggest Chinese belief? In Western mythology, fire was given by God. In Greek mythology, it was stolen by Prometheus. And in Chinese mythology, it was made by drilling wood to make fire. And it was made by gritty friction. In the face of the Doomsday Flood, the West took refuge in Noah's Ark, but in Chinese mythology, their ancestors fought the flood and the disaster. If you read Chinese myths, you will find their stories incredible. Throw away the plot. Find the cultural core of the myth. You will find only two words: fight. If a mountain is in front of their house, they move it away. Such a spiritual core, Western mythology does not exist. Western mythology is to listen to God's arrangement. Each country has the legend of the sun god. In tribal times, the sun god has absolute authority. Throughout all the myths of the sun god, you will find that only the Chinese myths have the courage to challenge the sun god story. There is a person, because the sun is too hot to chase the sun, want to pick the sun down. Although in the end he died of exhaustion and did not succeed, it was because he dared to fight what seemed to be an insurmountable force that another story emerged. Hao Yi shot the sun. Yes, they shot the sun down. The Chinese ancestors used this story to tell their descendants that they could lose, but they could not give in. The Chinese people grew up listening to such fairy tales. The spirit of courage to fight had become genetic, and they did not realize it, but as strong as our ancestors. A girl drowned in the sea. He turned into a bird resurrection, want to fill the sea. This is the struggle. A man, because of the challenge of heaven and earth, was cut off the head, but he did not die, but continued to fight with an axe. This is also a struggle. Every nation's myth has its own brand. But have you ever seen a nation's myth has so many stories of the struggle between heaven and earth? Every civilization was theistic in its early days, but the Chinese were the only ones that did not fear God. Heaven and earth are inhumane, to all things for the cud dog, said is to survive on their own, cannot rely on heaven. Chinese ancestors never put the hope of survival in the favor of God. As a result, many Westerners say that Chinese people have no faith. In fact, the courage to fight, not afraid of losing, not to be convinced, is the Chinese national spirit, but also the faith of the Chinese people.